you can't handle the heat. Booyaka Shaw, welcome back to another episode. If you can't handle the heat, it's your boy G Swizz, joined by
Joe Worsley.
Looks like you forgot your name there. Looks like you forgot your name there for a second.
I almost did. I was going to call myself one of the nicknames you created.
What? Cups?
You can create that, though. Cups. That's
No,
what
you
everybody
can
calls
create
me here.
You have to do. To go, Joe. Yeah, how do you get that nickname, Joe?
I got it from a team event last year. After one of the matches.
Here? In Germany?
Yeah, in Germany.
They call you cunts.
Some of them do now.
There should be an episode just dedicated to Joe and his nicknames. I can write them all down, and I'll explain them. And joined by our dear friend,
Country Mike.
brother in arms. How we doing?
Yeah,
Country Mike.
It's been a while.
It has been a while. When's the last time we recorded a podcast? Was it Geeter?
It took 4 weeks to edit. It was a long edit.
It was a long edit, guys. It
Hey,
was
guys,
a long
sorry
haul,
about that.
boys. Long haul, boys. With that being said, as you...
In issues.
Dude, the war, man. It really affects us all. It affects us editors out there, you know? Coronavirus.
The Wi-Fi in Germany just... You're struggling with energy.
Well, speaking of that, that's a good way to start to get into it, Joe. All right, well, as you can see, we're not in neither of us are in familiar places, although Micah, you can, just his background, you can't really tell, but we are in the midst of a studio in the middle of Deutschland. For those of you who don't know, my brother and I, now this year, I've been here about a week in Germany, playing the same team in Lüneburg, Germany, for the Burger Boys. It's called Lüneburg Club, but we call it just the Burger Boys. I came up with that. I just want you guys to know that. So make sure you guys give him a follow on Instagram. And
You gotta make shirts.
Huh?
You gotta make shirts.
Mitch Stahl was a big. He started the Burger Boys at UCLA actually, but no correlation with you because I never shared that with you. But we had Burger Boys at UCLA.
Was it like a
you'd never
cheeseburger,
know.
boys?
No, it's not. It's not a story really that should be shared.
Well, as you can
Well,
see,
what Gage was saying, every single week you're gonna see more and more progression in terms of the studio being built out. This is a Model A.
it's gonna be kind of funny. We're gonna do like a time of like a montage, like each getting better and better and better. This is the beginning of a very, very sick setup here, including Micah's as well. Micah's literally starting from a blank slate. Micah, where are you at right now?
I'm from Turkey.
Really? How's it over there?
Okay. Turkey, I've told people is like, it's a sleeper country. I think, at least in the United States, no one knows anything about Turkey. They don't put a lot of respect on Turkey's name, so to speak. But Turkey is nice, and like, did you know that the city of Troy is in Turkey? Like,
Yeah, dude, I learned all that last year. Alexander the Great, all that.
it's gnarly in Turkey, and also the food is really nice. I've never been, but a bunch of guys have shown me like where they're from and all that stuff, and it looked insane.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to travel and play some teams that are on the coast. I'm excited. This place is really nice.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, I've only been in Turkey a handful of times, 2 or 3 times, and I have no complaints. It's super sick. Also, a quick disclaimer note: if you see me and Joe start sweating here, it's because it is hot, and Germans refuse to get air conditioning, and we can't blow fan in our face because then it affects our audio. So we're just gonna be in this hot box called the Widowmaker, progressively as it gets hotter and hotter. Anyways, let's get into it. So we kind of before this we kind of did some self-analyzation. How do you say this? We looked inwards, not outwards. A reflection. Thank you. And how we can improve this podcast in a few ways. And we thought, we're kind of getting repetitive. At the end of it, we are 3 doofuses, but I think we have stuff to offer, and I don't think we always do a great job maximize the potential. Thank you, Joe. See, look at us. See, when we maximize our potential, we finish other sentences. That's where we are, baby.
Finish each other's sentences.
With the new podcast uniforms.
All pink. With that being said, check out link in the bio. Get the merch. Support the boys. You know how it be. We got many things other than this hot pink item you see before your very eyes here. But again, make sure to check it out. Link in the bio.
Outersystem.net.
Outersystem.net. Support the boys. With that being said, though, we kind of wanted to come up with new segments. We want to kind of include the fans. So as we kind of get into this podcast, we're going to kind of start introducing more and more segments. and that way you guys kind of don't hear the same kind of things going in a circle with us, and that way we can include you guys more. But with that being said, our first segment that we came up with, it's called Overseas Scheiße. The second word, Scheiße, is a German word. Sorry, mom and dad, it means shit. But basically, there's all kinds of crazy stuff that's been happening overseas all the time, and we sometimes forget to tell in the podcast. But we speak to each other about that. So each podcast, we're going to be going and explaining one just crazy. I mean, sometimes two. It depends how crazy the week is. Just crazy stories that we heard over the week, just overseas, because you go through so much crap. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think the biggest thing is that we kind of share that with you guys because we have so much to offer in terms of that. Section of
offer, bro.
We have so much. It's unbelievable. All right, Micah, take it away, brother.
Okay, so this past week, I heard a story from some friends of mine, and a lot of this is going to be probably like anonymous because
Mm-hmm.
a little dicey, but it is what it is. And this has to do with two teams that it's their final game of the year, and they need a specific outcome of 3-2 in favor of one of the teams. So they have a talk before, and they decide that they're going to go ahead and make sure that it's 3-2. So the plan was whoever wins the first set is going to lose the second set. And then then the third set you play, whatever. Whoever wins that one, the fourth set you have to lose. And then the fifth set, they know who has to win. And so one team wins the first set, and the team that's supposed to be losing the second set can't lose it. Like everything's going their way, not everything's going their way. And so they're winning by a ton, and they somehow end up throwing it hard enough to they said there was 3 counterattack balls per game point that they sent to the back wall, like 1-on-1, and their best player hits 15 feet out, and everyone's like, "What the fuck?" And sorry, excuse my language. And so they finally get to throw the second game. Then the third set, whoever wins. And again, it's the fourth set, and they have to push it to 5. And they're like, the team that's supposed to be losing is winning by a lot, and the other team can't do anything right. So they again have to do it super ridiculously. And then fifth set, they end up pulling it off, and both teams end up going to the playoffs. The funny part about this is that, and this is also where it gets pretty sketchy. I don't know about this, but there may or may not have been a lot of people placing bets.
Oh yeah.
Constantly, as the odds would change, and they just keep betting. And so that's some overseas size that I just got, that I just learned about 3 days ago. No names, no country association, but I thought it was so ridiculous. I'd never heard of that.
Dude, yeah, there would be. I didn't realize how much betting on games there was until I came overseas. Like that, I was like, isn't that stuff illegal?
It is.
No, it is 100%, but not some people. They don't care.
No, they don't care. But... Yeah.
It's crazy though. That's crazy though. You would never hear imagine the NFL doing that. You know what I'm saying? That just wouldn't make any sense to me. Or they would get caught. It would. Think so? All you hear. You think we're the play?
Story about the ref.
Yeah.
Fixing all the NBA games.
That's true. That is true. I guess there is stuff like
people that are doing something, but you're not going to hear about them.
That's so true. That's so crazy though. I mean, as the segment goes on, there's gonna be crazier and crazier stories because I gotta really think of some because there's some crazy stuff that happened in the last year or so.
One more addition for Overseas Shiza while it's my turn, and so speaking with my Argentinian teammate, and he was like, one of the crazier things I saw was I came to practice and everyone was really early. And we had some bad luck, and people were getting injured, and so I was wondering what we were doing. we all gather around, and all of a sudden they bring in this sheep. They did a live sacrifice
Oh no way!
for the practice to try and switch the luck. So I was like, wait, what do you mean?
Alive.
He's like, yeah. So they get some good luck. We sacrifice the sheep
Like on the
How'd
court?
they do it? They just
right outside the gym,
like just a gun.
and then they practiced.
Any more injuries? Do they have to like smear goat blood on them?
I didn't hear about that, but how gnarly is that? And they had a guy that like really knew what he was doing, and it was pretty painless. They said, but it wasn't with a gun; it was with a knife.
Oh no, he does it often. That's his job.
It was just, he said it was like super fast, and then
They did like a
and dropped that on me, and then like we just kept practicing because we were just practicing. I was like, I have so many questions.
That's incredible. I wonder if that works. Shoot. We should try that one time.
No.
I'm serious. I feel like we can find like a not in Germany. That's crazy though.
In Lunenburg, if stuff starts going wrong.
Guys,
Coach, I know
after a loss,
I know we've tried a lot of things.
Everybody be at the gym, 2 a.m. And you're carrying a sheep.
I'm gonna bite its head off. Fire the troops up. Ever take a chunk? Like Jesus Cage. Jackie Moon's gonna wrestle a bear to turn our luck around.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no replay.
Top movie ever, man. Semi-Pro was such a good
such a
movie.
good
When's the last
movie.
time you guys watched that
It's
movie?
such a
though?
good
When's the last time
movie.
you guys watched
Recently.
the movie? When's the last
Yeah,
time
man.
you watched it?
Maybe.
Exactly. No. Here's the thing. I would say the same about Kicking and Screaming, but I literally just watched Semi-Pro the other week. Semi-Pro and Kicking and Screaming are one of those movies where they're phenomenal to quote, but then if you watch them, they're not as funny. But in terms of quoting wise, it's up there. Same thing Kicking and Screaming. Trust me, you rewatch it and you'll.
For the first time watching Semi-Pro, and I was dying of laughter.
Dude,
I thought Semi-Pro was a good movie.
it's
If
a
I
great
rewatch
movie.
it, maybe it's not going to be as funny. But
Exactly. No, great in terms of quotes and stuff, but it is better the first time around for sure. I would say, and quote wise.
top quote movies for me are Benchwarmers, Semi-Pro, The Other Guys. In terms of comedy, those are my top 3.
For me, it is Talladega Nights. Will
This is
Ferrell.
legit, actually.
Step Brothers, and what was it? You named one of them. Talladega Nights, Step Brothers,
Old school.
and no, Kicking and Screaming. Kicking and Screaming. I named it. Joe.
Elf?
Elf is up there. We named 3 though.
I don't really quote Elf. I don't know it that well. There's some movies that you know that you've seen a lot that the quotes go over my head, and then there's some that just stick out to me.
Will Ferrell. There's a common theme here. It's all Will Ferrell. Think about that.
Yeah,
Joey.
you're right.
Comedies? Tommy Boy for
I mean,
sure.
yeah.
is in there. Tommy Boy, Talladega
It's
Nights.
such a Joe answer, dude.
Dude, Tommy Boy
And
so
Miracle.
funny. In Miracle, funniest movie. Miracle, hell yeah.
It's gonna be one more.
Talladega, comedies. I know I'm missing something for sure, but dude, Semi-Pro might be up there.
So good. Oh my god.
There's so many lines
won
in
a
that
big
movie.
check.
Name 3
That
lines.
says
It's-
$10,000. Bank? It's a big check. You gotta take it to a big bank. Dude, I can name a bunch of lines from that movie.
Dude, there's so many.
There's a deep dark hole we can't go down.
It's
Another
just
time.
dumb humor, but also it's great.
That was
What if one
Overseas
podcast
Shiza.
would
I
just-
like that. I like that segment.
I like that too. Overseas Shiza. I like that. All right, let's go to our next.
Yes, to provide some overseas sides.
That is true. That is true. I think one thing we're going to do a better job of definitely bringing in more guests besides our main guest. With that alluding to our next segment.
Do you know how some
Go, Joe.
Closing out of that, Brendan Lemieux, some insane Eastern Euro hockey. He might,
People don't know who Brendan Lemieux is.
if they were paying attention a lot recently, they'll know who he is.
He plays with Kings.
He's left wing for the Kings, LA Kings right now, hockey player. He's gotten in the volleyball community in South Bay a lot. He has some pretty insane Eastern Euro stories. Like, I beats most volleyball stories. Like
Really?
Hockey players are gnarly in general, but Eastern Euro hockey.
You know what I want to ask him? I heard that the hockey players choose their numbers by how many girls they sleep with. So guys who are like up there, like
That's how TJ Oshie.
That's what I heard too. 79, yeah.
Who's 75?
Still 70s.
You have to change it.
No, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, it has to be like
They picked it at the point they picked it. It was that.
That's wild. That's all. I want to talk to Brendan about that. We got to get him on the pod for sure. But yes, overseas Shiza. We'll get more guests on that. Now, with this next, we don't have a name for it yet. It's just basically we want to be kind of informing in terms of volleyball news. So we're just going to call it volley news right now. Now, with that being said, next week, if everything goes correctly, if everything goes right, it'll be someone else talking about it. We'll bring an expert on the show to talk about this with great fire, passion, energy, and knowledge. We're not going to name any names right now, but he or she will be, like I said, kept unnamed, but he will bring, God damn, I just alluded to a guy. Suck this. We'll be bringing great energy to the show, but basically keep you guys updated in the volleyball world because there's so much going on because sometimes we're talking about pro volleyball, sometimes we're talking about what NCAA volleyball. We want to kind of give a scope of everything, so especially when the seasons kind of go down. We're just going to call it volleyball news. Well, to start things open, Joe, congratulations. We're in the midst of a 6-man champion. Let's get a round of applause for Joey here. Round of applause for Joey. Look at this, man. Inspiration to us all. Joe, how does it feel to win 6-man?
It was, I don't know. It was going into it without you guys there. Yeah. I wasn't even sure who was on the team. Mm-hmm. People asking who's on our team. I'm like, I have no idea who's on our team. I really didn't know who was going to be hitting for us until I showed up at the house that morning. And then I saw him like, well, we're really big. I knew that. And then I didn't know we had Mitch like till last second. I'm like, okay, well, that's a pretty good pickup.
That'll do.
Yeah, we just kind of like, after playing the first day, we played really well. And then I looked around and I'm like, just with the style we were playing, I'm like, we could win this tournament for still. We could definitely win this tournament. And yeah, the next day, there were some brilliant decisions made this year by the bullies. I will say that.
Well, like what?
Deciding to water up a little bit, at certain
brilliant
points on the second day.
How would
it was good. It could have gone downhill bad at certain points, and some brilliant coaching decisions there. And then just having our big guys. We would use a big guy as a blocking sub every we were serving. We have a big guy, and it was perfect. I thought it worked out well. So we had some clutch points out of it.
That's good. So they learned. Look at them. Because last year, I remember we were like, we need to keep Mike in the back row. Ended up biting us in the butt, but then it didn't work out. We're like, dang, why we do that? There was a couple. We're like, there was a couple of times we're like, dang, but then they coached into victory.
Keep me in the back row and it bit us in the butt.
Yeah, remember we talked about this. No, it bit us in the butt that you weren't in the back row.
Okay. I was gonna say I didn't even play back row.
Exactly.
I was a big guy back then.
It's true. You were a big outside. You would have been a big outside this year. Anyway, Joe, continue.
Dude, I will say our blocking was absolutely ridiculous.
Just stupid.
And it was definitely really fun to win, especially against Soho after losing them last year.
Oh my God.
We beat them in the final. They were pretty salty after, and that was nice to see. I'll be honest, it was nice to see that.
Can you tell
they were apparently.
Yeah.
So Richard Jefferson, he owns the team. So the night before 6-man, Thursday night 0, I got invited by Colton. Colton's like, yeah, all the guys said that I can bring you to our team dinner because Lionsdall, they do like a little margarita thing, but it's kind of like super far out of the way and it's not really like part of the action. And so I was just like, yeah, I'm not gonna cruise. And Colton's like, all the Soho guys said to bring you to their team dinner, and it was like just kind of like open tab for food and everything. So I sat there, ate, had a night all on Soho's tab the night before the event.
Smart man.
I was sitting, and Luke and stuff was joking about it. Luke Walton, he's on their team, and he was joking about it. He's like, "You're gonna play us this weekend, just on our tab all night." And we end up playing him in the finals and beat him. And Luke is just coming. He's like, He's like, you eat off our tab, you drink off our tab, and then you come and beat us in the finals. He was just laughing afterwards. But it felt pretty good to see that. And I came to find out last week that Richard Jefferson, before the finals, because how it works is day 2 of 6-man, it's a double elimination bracket. And you play, if you get to the winner's final, if 2 teams haven't lost, one team wins, the other team has to play the losers, the last team left in the losers end of the bracket, the contenders bracket, and they play 1 set to 11, and the winner of that then plays the championship against the other team again. But the team coming from the contenders has to beat them twice. You have to beat them to 15, and then you have to beat them to 11. So we lost to Soho in the winners final. We played very bad tactics. We learned. We played.
Tactics. What was the tactics?
We had 4 guys, all of us trying to like go for serves. Like I missed one during the match.
Dude, that was the number one thing from
we had
last
2
year.
guys
Like,
missed twice, and then we just started floating and just blocking everything. Like, and then we talked to him. We're like, why are we going? And so we started just putting in serves, and we came back, but there was too much to come back from. Anyways, we knew that if we came back around to play them again, that we knew like we could take him, just put the ball in play, and our block just destroyed them. And we ended up beating them. But apparently before the championship, because they knew that we had to beat them twice. They only had to win one of the sets. Richard Jefferson had a huge party that he was... These are just stuff going around that we had heard afterwards, that he was going to throw like $40,000 down on for an after party for their team and throw a sick after party, and it was all planned out and ready to go as soon as they won.
$40,000.
And yeah, and after we heard that, that was we were even more fired up. Apparently, their cheer afterwards, when they like broke, was 2 points away from the best party of the year. that was their cheer when they left.
Richard didn't even shake your hand, did he?
Yeah, well, he like briefly, he wouldn't even make eye contact. He was pissed off.
I mean, he was an asshole last
year. Their team was pretty. They were pretty salty. They had Reed Pretty, Murphy Troy, Tony Torelli, Colton Cowell, Tim May, Duncan Budinger, and then Caldwell, and who was the other setter? I don't know, but they were good. They were always a good team. They're just like have a lot of athletes But yeah, the boys. It was fun to win with the crew that we had. I'll be honest. The crew we had was so fun that weekend, and huge shout out.
It's funny because you guys always get second place. Lion Cells has a tradition of getting second place. Micah unfortunately been on the receiving end of those as well as us. Well, we finished way worse than second. And I remember before, so we're like the vlog is coming out. Like I said, COVID, the internet in Germany is just causing a lot of stuff. The war just really affecting the editing of the video. But I just hear right before the championship, someone's like, "All right, let's go get second place, boys, for the final."
The whole day they're cheating. Yeah, it was funny. They were funny.
Like I love that. But you know what? It does one thing. It quenches my thirst for funny stories. But my actual thirst. Right here, Joe. Hold it up. Loud and proud, baby. Dr. Price Electrolytes. This segment of Volley News is sponsored by Dr. Price Electrolytes. We've done a lot of things. We've never done a live... I'm not going to dry scoop it. That'd be absolutely wild. Especially in the Widowmaker here. In the hot box here. This is lemon lime. This is our favorite flavor. Also, people always come up to us and they're like, "Hey, do you guys just drink that for show? Like, is this like just because it's sponsored?" No, dude. We hand this out to everyone. This didn't do a great job pouring it. It's okay. I'll lick it off my hand.
Everything was poured on Agita's hand. He missed
I gotta shake it. Make sure you do that. Tangy. But no, we love this. We live and die off this. Like, we bring it all the way over here. This will only last us, I think, a month and a half. What we have here, we have a tube.
Dr. Price, we need some more.
Add a system for 20% off.
Electrolytes.
Link in the bio as we go through this. But actually, this is a lifesaver. If you're an athlete, not an athlete, if you want to get electrolyted, this is for you. I'll be drinking this all podcast and all night long. Now, again, round of applause again for Joe. 6-man champion. Did what we could not.
Next year.
Next year.
Back.
Next year, second place. Here we come.
Back to second place. Michael Fisher, it's in the vlog. I'm sure you put it in. we all walked to the water after, jump in the water after he won, and he just screams. And I think we got it on camera. He's like, "I knew it. The issue is Micah engaged."
yeah. That's what I got it on video.
Michael Fisher kept yelling that.
Michael Fisher's actually
so
one
funny,
of my favorite teammates I've ever had.
He's awesome. He's such a good teammate.
Yeah, like a really, really, really good teammate.
So like,
UCLA is definitely top 3 teammate.
But
I really, really like Michael Fisher.
so, but he'd be like top 5. He'd be like me, Joe, and
Dude, that's where it gets hard. But at UCLA, top 3 for sure.
yeah. Are we one of your top teammates? Be brutally honest.
Favorite teammates to play with?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we play in every tournament, and I feel like we have. I think that's also what helps separate. Is that we have really good team. Like, we're a really good team. We work well
We're
together.
besties.
We forget when to show up to.
We're very good at keeping each other accountable, and we're very good at like listening to each other. And
That's true. Me and Joe could
Yeah.
use that. Me and Joe could use that right about now. I've been here for a week. Unfortunately, I have not been great with my appointments. I've missed an appointment, one appointment, showed up late to 2 practices. It's not, all right.
Joe,
Here we
it's
are.
your fault too.
It's I've been not great on that. We forgot the balls.
We got the balls. Today we showed up 30 minutes early to practice. It's like a 15, 20-minute drive.
Late?
No. 30 minutes early. 30 minutes early. We show up, and then we go, we're like, all right, we're here. And we've been switching gyms because our gym's floor is getting redone. So we, everybody has, one person has the balls, et cetera. We had the balls, or half of them. And we pull up. Sorry, Mom, for this language here. I'm like, we pull up. I see the team. I'm like, shit! I was like, what? I was like, the balls. And the funniest thing was, earlier, about an hour before we left, I remember I walked to the living room and the ball cases were there. The ball cases were there. And I walked past him. And I'm like, oh, Joe, we can't forget the balls. Oh, he's like, good call. I was like, dude, that was, I literally said this out loud. I was like, dude, this is definitely something we would do. We put him on the living room door. I remember I was like, as I put him on the living room door, I was like, wow, that would have sucked if we forgot him because we'd have drove all the way there, we'd been fine, and then we would have like, oh crap, and then we had to go back. That's exactly what happened. Oh my god.
And then today they gave us even more stuff to bring tomorrow.
Yeah, now we have the net. I gave my whole team the warning. We have the net. I was like, guys, I'm just gonna warn you right now. I can't promise anything, but tomorrow might be more of a partner on partner, no net kind of situation. Let it 2-man drills. Like I said, I don't know where it's gonna take me. I have no power of the situation, but just a heads up for that. Not been great on that. Not been great. The other time, Joe was shaving his beard or trimming his mustache, so we got a minute late to that. But usually I'm 30 minutes late to 30 minutes early to every practice. We gotta be better about that. We actually do.
Sorry, Coach. That one's on us.
Not great. Not hot. Not so hot. Let's get into the six man. Let's get into the Manhattan Beach Open. First off, congratulations to Triborn, Trevor Crabb, and Trevor Crabb 3 years in a row. Triborn 2 years in a row. Unreal. Something about that tournament. That's crazy.
As an animal. As an animal, man.
Why do
he
you say
just
that?
shines. Like, the bigger the moment, the better that guy plays. And, like, the more pressure he puts on himself, the better he plays. Like, the guarantee thing is, to me, like, one of the gnarliest things in our sport that I've seen. The fact that he's done that. Have we talked about that on here before?
I don't think so. All right, let's talk about that, and then I have a question about that. You go for it, Micah.
The first guarantee was in, like COVID happened, and they had these 3 tournaments in Long Beach, and one of them was like the Porsche Cup or whatever. They did 2 of them, and Try and Trevor did not play well in them, or whatever the case may be. They didn't win. Phil, I believe, won both. And then Trevor comes out and says, I guarantee a win. I guarantee we're winning this. On Instagram, he says it. And he posts a picture and he says, I guarantee we're going to win this. He goes out and wins it. Then, this year, they are struggling. I think they had like a terrible finish. The beginning of their season was a little rocky because I think they were going through some changes, personnel-wise or whatever the case may be. They weren't playing at their best. And then Trevor comes out post photo, whatever the case may be, and guarantees a win after I think they had lost. They might have gotten seventh in the last AVP or whatever, maybe seventh or ninth, and he wins it. And then, oh wait, no, that's the Manhattan Beach. He guaranteed last year's
year.
Manhattan Beach.
Mm-hmm.
He won last year's Manhattan Beach Open, and then this year is the one that he guaranteed in Fort Lauderdale after they were struggling, and then they won that one. He did, and he was 3 for 3, but on the mic after they won Fort Lauderdale, he guaranteed Atlanta, and they did not win Atlanta, so he's now 3 for 4. But I think that's insane to come out on Instagram and like guarantee a tournament, especially when you're not like winning every single one or like it's not going to go your way a lot of the time. To come out and just guarantee it, and like that's a pretty big boy move. And he's come through 3 out of 4 times, which is not only him, it's Try too. So Try's an animal too, but that team is just a ballsy team. Really,
that is true.
Team. They were losing to Taylor and Taylor. They're down a set to nothing, and then just like Trevor comes out and just starts talking like he's up. You know, like he's losing down a set, and he's losing in the set, and he's just like, yeah, you can't get past me. I'm like, dude, this guy doesn't quit, man. Like, he doesn't quit. And then
that's his way of taking it personal.
But it's just sick. It's almost like a UFC kind of like mindset. With the trash talk, for sure, it's more of like that McGregor-ish style of reaching success is kind of like crazy how popular it's becoming. Not in the not mainstream sports already, but in like other avenues of social media and smaller sports, it's become a thing. Like beach volleyball, I feel like is kind of trying to take on that character of a Conor McGregor-ish type of thing. And Trevor's the ringleader of it, but a lot of people are trying to do that kind of stuff. And
who else is there? And part of the Conor McGregor-esque, UFC-esque type of characters.
I think Sander is like pretty
true.
entertaining, chirpy. Taylor has even been like a little bit more vocal than ever before. No, Evan Corey is someone that was like on Instagram talking about that, like talking trash. I think it's just bleeding itself into the culture, and part of that is also not only Conor McGregor, but to pay respect to like Hav, Dodd, Karch. Back then, I think that the entertainers were like, they really were entertainers. Like the volleyball players were entertainers, and that's when the AVP was doing the best. So maybe there's also like an inspiration to try and bring the glory days back through that. I don't think that's wrong. I think some of that's valid. But it's definitely a movement that's going on the beach side.
They need that. I think the players are starting to kind of feel, because everyone kind of, there was good and bankruptcy and then kind of went through a dip, and then I think they probably AVP had struggles from the players to obviously the corporation, and I think the players are doing a great job of showing personality, because that's what we always talk about. Volleyball doesn't have personality. And then now, like you see stuff what Trevor and the Taylors are doing, Evan Corey, kind of all over the spectrum and rankings of the AVP Tour itself. The one complaint I have, we were watching. Remember, me and Joe were watching AVP. I was like, what game is this right now? Like, I have no idea what game this is, because it's such double elimination is such a big format. I'm like, they're streaming, all right. What game is this for? Like, why should I even care about this game? I'm like, I thought those guys were like, I have no idea what's happening. It's so hard to keep track of things, and in streaming, I think they should insert even just simple labels above the scoreboard. I think you were saying like the record, losers bracket round, round. I'm like, I have no idea what is going on or why I should care about what's going on right now, because I'm like, these guys are playing. I'm like, I don't even know. I don't even care. Like, I'm like, unless it's the finals or the semifinals, there's no point.
They could go hire out like a single commentator too for the side courts. Every court should be streamed in an AVP event.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's 16 team draw. There's only 3 courts. Just
Yeah.
set up the 3rd court, please. Because I remember like me and Zana were watching film, watching court 1, but watching the stream of court 1, but watching court 2 in the background, trying to watch like games like that way. But it's kind of sad. You should be able to afford 3 live stream setups.
I agree. I agree.
Like the side courts aren't in depth setups. It's just like it's a stationary camera with no
Imagine.
commentary, no nothing.
I think.
Like
No, you're right.
iPhone on
100%. I mean, that's what Taylor Crabb's doing, dude. Thank God for Taylor Crabb. We missing all those games. Freaking. Well, first off, Taylor Crabb, my boy. Yeah. Thank God to my boy for recording the freaking games, because there's literally, if we didn't do that, like, it's crazy. Imagine someone like, I don't know, like Kevin Durant's like, yeah, well, not gonna be on TNT tonight. Check out my Instagram. I'm gonna go live. Like, just stuff like that. Like they have the money to do it. Like, just do it. And everyone, shout to our boy Shano, he even commented on their post, and everyone kind of feels the same way down there. Like, how is it not being streamed at all? Like, it's a missed opportunity, and I get it, like, budget and whatnot, but dude, you don't need a crazy setup. Just give us something simple. But in terms of everything else, I mean, AP looks like it's going in a good direction. I think internationally, it's going to be very interesting to kind of see how things kind of turn out.
Dude, yeah.
Because
I was saying, on a side note, international, the European beach teams right now are
Jesus
gnarly.
Christ. Jesus.
It's like a whole nother level out there. Watching the European semifinals and finals was crazy. Those teams are so
Big
impressive.
blocks, bro. Huge.
Physical, creative. They're massive, and they're banging balls. They got all kinds of stuff. It's impressive.
I used to be a big advocate. To be a very big advocate that outdoor is way easier than indoor. Because all the best players go to indoor. That's where the money is. I'm not there like completely, but watching those guys, I'm like, it's definitely the levels, and for me, is getting like closer and closer, in my opinion. Because 90%.
Sure.
Yeah. Like
watching like guys transition, and you're like, these guys are legit.
yeah, like
Guys are legit too.
legit. Well, they're the most legit. That's what the top teams are in America right now, unfortunately, for guys.
Sure, for sure.
They're not even on the west end of the world. Not even Brazil.
Yeah, they're the strangest, oddest one-off countries too.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, you only need
a
two.
really
You
good
only
team,
need
but
two.
Russia can't play. But Russia's team's gnarly. Then
Sweden.
obviously, yeah, the Swedish boys, and then the Norwegians, obviously. But there's also the Netherlands has a Brouwer and Newson are legit.
The
It's like
Lithuanians are always
one-offs.
competitive.
Yeah, like the strangest, not
The
like
Czech,
strangest,
the
but,
Czech,
like,
the Czech
these
team
smaller,
right now.
yeah. Czech has a good team. Poland has one good team. Probably multiple, but one that comes to mind.
Qatar.
Because you only need two. Indoor, you
Like,
need 7
dude.
plus players.
Podium of the Olympics last time. Norway, Qatar, and who got third? They got second, and Qatar got third. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Those big boys. That's 7-footer. That's crazy.
I were to guess beach volleyball, and your gold medal match is Russia and Norway, and who gets bronze is Qatar. Like what?
People ask me that like not like huge old people, and I like tell them about the Norwegian national team. And they're like Norway, they have beach volleyball. I'm like, dude, they're beach volleyball, and they spend a lot of money on it. They're developing their training system. There's a reason, and they have a lot of legit kids coming up. I've seen some of the kids that they have coming up right now. It's gonna be, they have a pipeline for sure feeding into their national team right now. So
100%.
it's impressive.
So
Championships
yeah, let's get into
on the
that.
men's side.
I think
This is indoor volleyball.
we'll try and bring as well. It's like a damn near a month-long tournament, so we'll make sure to kind of bring.
No.
How long's the tournament? Well, they're there for a month.
2 weeks.
Yeah, it's pretty long.
Well, yeah.
The
Well, they've been
26th
there
to
for
the
a week and a
11th,
half.
I think. 26th to the 11th. So
We'll
2
make
weeks.
sure to get guys on here for sure, and talk about that. Some of our boys. But let's get into that. Micah, you have the pools for World Championships, yeah?
I do have the pools, yeah.
Let's go pool by pool. Yep.
Is Serbia, Ukraine, Tunisia, and Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
So just for people to know, the top 2 teams get out, and then the top 4 third-place teams
All right. Who do you think's gonna win that?
make it into.
And then it's just
Single
straight win or
bracket.
go home. Yeah.
Who do you got, Joe, for that pool? Top 2 teams.
Coming out.
Yeah.
Who are the first 2 teams? It was-
Serbia and Ukraine.
Yeah,
Ukraine, yeah.
Serbia, Ukraine.
Same.
Coming out.
Serbia and Ukraine.
There's only 2 pools that I saw that could have some interesting finishes, or it's gonna be competitive, I think, for that second spot. But for the most part, I think it's pretty clear. For the most part, who should get out.
This one might be a little bit. This one might be competitive. It's Brazil, Cuba, Japan, and Qatar.
That will be good.
Cuba's legit, and Japan's actually legit too.
I got Brazil and Cuba. I love the Cuba team.
Cuba's legit.
I think Japan gets them. Japan, Brazil.
Japan's pretty
Brazil has
legit.
not
Listen,
looked very good this summer though.
Yeah.
Like
They have not, but they always like if they have a
For the
bad
big
tournament,
tournaments.
they come back like really strong. So that's the only reason why I'm thinking that they'll probably do well.
and for the major competitions, they always are competing. For the top.
Second place team from this pool should get in, and I think
Yeah.
it'll be Brazil and Japan.
That's fair.
On Cuba's so legit. Their younger players are getting like older now. Jan's older. Lopez is older.
They're nasty. They've had a gnarly schedule.
Alonso's
They've gone from a Pan Am tournament in Canada, straight to South Korea, straight back to a Pan Am tournament in Canada, and then straight to World Championships without going home. They're on the road.
Third pool, Pool C, is USA, Mexico, Poland, and Bulgaria.
That
Definitely.
one,
Poland.
Yep.
yeah.
Easy.
USA, Poland, USA. I mean, they've looked pretty good this summer so far.
So good. Yeah, they look really good.
The one question mark will be their opposite. Is the opposite situation for the USA? They've had.
Who would play? I think Anderson's back. But Ron and TJ have been so solid. But I don't know if Ron, from the friendly matches, it looked like Ron wasn't playing.
He got hurt. He's a little injured.
He's injured?
Yeah,
Okay.
at the moment.
Like he didn't make the trip.
He made the trip. He's on the trip right now, but I know that Jacob Pasteur plays Ohio State. He got chosen to go to Worlds because Ron was kind of beat up. Yeah.
Okay, so with that in mind, then it becomes probably like TJ and Garrett, and then maybe stints of like Matt on the left and Kyle on the right. Kyle's just such a solid player.
Yeah.
Is France, Germany, Slovenia, and Cameroon.
Ooh, that could be
This is a
hard.
difficult one, except I would give Germany a pretty good look until I don't know if this is public knowledge too, but Linus Weber broke his pinky. They weren't going to travel him until like last second. They kicked out Hirsch, but Weber still has a broken finger on his hitting hand, and apparently he hasn't been practicing. They've been using Karlichek as their opposite. So maybe they're holding on to him, hoping that maybe later on if they make it further. But apparently, what I was told is that he's not good to go yet. So
Germany?
I'm pretty sure they went with Kampa. I will have to look again, but He still is the top setter in Germany.
I didn't know if he was. He just doesn't do a lot of the VNL kind of stuff.
No, yeah.
Yeah, they would have been, or maybe they still will be, but if they have, or however you say, Weber,
Weber.
Litzek, who's the other outsides? I know Rijkaard is
Uh,
pretty legit.
I'm pretty sure they took Tobias Brandt. They have Karlichek. They have Schott. They have I think they took Reichardt. I'm pretty sure they took Reichardt.
He's pretty good, man.
And
Okay,
then
from that pool,
I think the top two coming out will be France and Slovenia.
I'm with Joe on that one.
And then I think Germany still could, I mean, get in though with that third, fourth place position. Oh, sorry, the four third place positions. I think. I don't know. I think Germany gets out still though.
they probably might. But the only thing is that Slovenia is playing in Slovenia.
Yeah,
Um,
pretty gnarly.
they're gonna have some good energy in there.
They'll
So
sell out. They'll sell
that
out
might
their
be why
matches.
they could probably beat Germany pretty well. And
They
then
could be.
France is playing the best volleyball in the world right now, based off of their last two tournaments.
It would not shock me at all Slovenia beating them though. In Slovenia, Slovenia plays pretty gnarly. When they get their home
I'm just
ground.
saying Germany might be, because if it's just based off points earned and pool, Germany might not be one of the best thirds.
Yeah. That's a good point.
The fact that they have Slovenia and France.
Yeah.
Pool E, which is Turkey, China, Italy, and Canada.
I'm going Italy, Canada for that one.
Turkey, China, Italy, Canada. Yeah, Canada and Italy should. I think Canada gets out of that for sure.
I think China might get in now.
Over Turkey?
No. Like, well, yeah, over Turkey, but I think China might get in from the third position. I think, from what I've heard, I haven't seen a lot of China, but I've heard that they're pretty solid, and I feel like this pool doesn't have two runaways like France, Slovenia, or Poland, USA. I think China has a chance to score some points.
Could be.
Pool F is Argentina, Iran, the Netherlands, and Egypt.
That'll be interesting.
I think the
'Cause-
third place person from this pool is getting out too.
Yeah. I think the top two, Argentina for sure. I really like how Argentina's been playing recently. And
I'll go with
Yeah.
Argentina, Iran, and I think Netherlands might get
the
in.
Netherlands, it just all depends on how the mirror plays. Micah's teammate. It just is all on his. Like,
That guy could really by himself for sure. I know they have some legit pens and stuff like that. They have some good
Is Stein
features
there?
for sure.
no. Is it Ter Horst? Termont. I don't know. I have no. He might be playing.
Apparently, is legit in this league. Like, from all the guys I talked to, he's probably the best player in the league, and he just like has won the past 3 years.
Huh.
And then
That's all.
let's
the
get
pool.
into our champions now. Let's get into our champion. I think, personally, I love how France plays. They're my favorite to watch. I love how they play. Either France or my boys Cuba. Even though I don't think Cuba's gonna win, but France. Cuba.
Who's bronze and silver for you?
U.S. bronze. Italy's silver.
It's tough to say gold silver until you see the brackets, because it's like you could see, but just looking at it, I'm gonna say. See, the one thing about Poland is just the setting. It just has always been the biggest thing for them. Like, there's so many pieces that they have that make it appealing to me.
I think the thing about Poland is that they have too much depth.
And they just don't know how to utilize. And they can't, like.
They're just too deep. Like you have Bednarz, Fornal, Kvolic,
Semenyuk.
How do you like? It's hard, man.
Yeah. No, it's very hard. I think.
There's even more outsides than that. Like, there's a lot more outsides than that are legit.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with Poland, world champions. I think. Yeah, even with. Is Leon back? Did we know that? Am I just out of the loop on that? Is Leon back?
I thought he was in Perugia.
He got surgery, and I don't think he's back.
No, I know. He's in Perugia right now.
Okay.
But even without Leon, I don't know. They could, like, dude, it's just same thing about Zaxa. You play there, and we'll see who starts setting for Poland. We'll see who they bring out. But I'm gonna go Poland.
Be Janusz.
Which is
Janusz.
Zaxa,
And
Team Zaxa.
yes. Probably Womack, probably. It's my guess. But I think Janusz is for sure their starter.
Let's go. I'm gonna go. I was gonna say the same thing. U.S. bronze. Get him in there, and then silver. I'm gonna take Brazil. In the silver.
Make it.
I can see them losing to U.S. in a bronze medal match. I don't see them being a good bronze medal match team. I see them losing and not showing up for a bronze medal match.
I think, Matt, it's so hard for me to go against the USA because they're just always so solid, and they're so like.
When's the last time we won?
We
won the.
Yeah.
It's
the one thing about
I don't
the,
think
is
we-
about the major tournaments though. The major tournaments.
haven't gotten first. in a long
Was it
time.
2015 is the last time we won?
We haven't
at
gotten
the
silver.
tournament.
I don't even, when did they get a silver?
With Micah. With
Yeah.
Micah, the world championship
Oh, yes,
qualifier.
VNL.
I guess it's just the VNLs we've gotten silver.
I mean, that's a major tournament.
Because a lot of people aren't bringing people to VNL, so that's
yeah, by
fair.
the end stage they are. You're the best teams going at it. You and Russia were the best teams there.
Russia not being there is also so it changes a lot. Because Russia, I feel like, is always legit.
Yeah.
I think the top four teams are USA, Poland, Brazil, and France.
In that order?
I'll go with Brazil. No, I'm gonna go with France winning. Poland second, USA third.
We're all consensus on the USA bronze, though.
USA's.
As much firepower from the pins right now.
But for them, dude, they just like. I think that a lot about Brazil.
Bruno's a winner, though.
So many times, and I'm just like, how does this team?
They're. I mean, that's not fair to say they're all so legit. Everyone's legit, though. So.
That's like saying.
It's always the
that's
margins are like.
Micah, that's like. No, sorry. Finish what you're saying.
Like, you see so many people that just comment on stuff or social media or like from the outside that are just saying like, "Oh, Brazil doesn't have firepower," and it's like Leal and Lucarelli.
Yeah.
What do you
Micah, with you being like.
there and play against these guys and tell me they don't have firepower? So I don't want to turn into that guy behind my computer screen saying like, "Oh, these guys aren't that good," because everyone in here is ridiculously legit.
Everyone can turn it on for sure.
You go nuts on them too, though. Slovenia is so.
Italy's sick.
Slovenia is stacked. They got some ballers in Slovenia for sure.
for sure.
Like what we talked about, like even with the US, like the US team, you only need like if you're lucky and you're not injured, you only need like 7, 8 players. Like having 25 good players isn't necessarily always a really good thing. Sometimes
Yeah.
it causes like who's playing this game or who's starting or oh why did coach choose you or why did coach choose this guy or like it's hard to know your role and hard to like perform your role when
When you're deep.
at a
No, you're right.
top
It does.
level.
No, you're right. Once a smaller unit, I feel, is more powerful than a less tight unit that is bigger. That could have been put way better, but
I
I
understand that.
understand. Okay, all right. I gaugified it. With that being said, first off, always a pleasure hopping on with you boys. This one will go up on time. Don't worry about it. Make sure the Wi-Fi is nice and good here in Germany. With that being said, remember, Dr. Price Electrolytes, add some for 20% off. Link in the bio here. Keep yourself nice and electrolyted. If you guys are interested in the merch, repping anything like this, link in the bio. Support the boys and expect great big changes because we want to give you guys the best content that you guys deserve and that we're capable of. So with that being said, if you can't handle the heat, goddamn kitchen, this has been another episode presented by Atlas System.